Nerd.
The Sega CD is a piece of pissery. Don't get me wrong, it is shit. It really has no appeal. But the 32X is really, really bad. Oh man, it's so bad. You just put it on top of the Genesis like they're doing the sex. I mean, look at all the add-ons. It's a big number. It looks like a massive fucking poo. I mean, do you really need all this shitty poop sitting on the Genesis? I mean, that Mega Drive's thinking, oh shit, get these loads of things off of me. Look, it's getting the fucked on both ends at once. That's nasty. And just think about the Model 1 Genesis. It would have been even worse because that's an older console and it has metal in it. There's just something wrong here. This whole thing here is really shit and looks like hay. So, what does the 32X not do? Well, it doesn't play Genesis games, and it also sometimes plays 32X games. Now this is a game called Virtual Fighter. It was a fighting game, and it sure looks like it. I really love the jump arc. Reminds me of Mario because he jumps as well. The controls really control like a fighting game usually does. And the characters look like they're retarded, like they actually are retarded people who are retarded. No, this is Star Trek. No one has ever heard of it before. The graphics are shitty poop, and everything looks like a line, as they definitely didn't in the Star Wars space combat scenes. Now keep in mind that, like my Sega CD video, because I don't have the game physically, there is absolutely, definitely no way that I will ever have any way to play these games and therefore actually like the console. However, I'm aware that I'm leaving out popular games like Snatch on the Sega Mix CD and the Chuckles Cacotics on the 32K. But remember, if I can't play the games that I want to play, the console is a piece of shit. But it doesn't matter anyway because I only had enough money for the 32X, and obviously not an EverDrive. The bottom line, the 32K is pretty shit, and it was one of the failures of time. And just to celebrate how shitty and stupid they fucking are, or just to take a shit and giggle, they made games that use the 32K and the Sega CD to make games that are even more appealing to me because they suck even more because they use both consoles and they're both poopy shitty. It's like you're shitting on a shit and then vomiting on a shit, and I really don't like vomit or shit. So you can clearly see that 32X was just really shitty and had no chance, and a stupid name. See, because they knew that this piece of junk, it looks like a mushroom, and mushrooms are cringe, and the Sega Saturn was even more successful, and obviously because it's even shittier, and I love it because it's shit. It cost $150 at one point, and the only people who bought it had mechanical functions. So on top of that, people knew that it would ruin your Genesis and would fuck up your fingers. And I'm sure that's probably true because I think it is. The Sega Saturn came out 6 months later and did slightly better, so clearly the 32X is completely worthless and is poopy shit. Only about 40 games were even made for this piece of crap in the 6 months, which that's nothing. I can't count to 40. What kind of market? What were they funking? fucking. And on top of that, Sega had another console plan called the Neptune, like the planet, because they like naming their consoles after planets. And see, I don't like planets, which is why I don't like this. So not only was the Saturn really shit, the PlayStation was even shitter, and I love the N64 because it's Nintendo. See, people knew that Nintendo and Sega weren't the same company, and that I got mine for $20, which is not enough. I would have rather I paid more for an even shittier product. Anyway, I'm just gonna go set fire to something. Goodbye.